Hi, I am Anna. I come from www.ntvforex.com. Democratic Convention nominates Biden and Harris's Trump hatred. Enough analysis. http ntvforex.com News ID 980EB18232027 06:55 p.m. Democrats virtual convention nominates Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Republicans to choose Donald Trump and Mike Pence August 24 – August 27. Conventions traditionally mark the start of the fall election campaign. Democrats attack Trump on character and performance, promising decency, competence, and leadership. The Democratic approach to the presidential election is defensive. NBSP capping off 4 years of non-stop opposition to the Trump administration and criticism of the president himself while presenting Biden as a model of character and leadership and providing little in the way of new policies is a risky strategy. NBSP however, given the peculiarities of the candidates and of Biden's arrival at the nomination this year, it may be the only one available to the party and its candidate. Speaker after speaker at the convention stressed the imperative that Donald Trump must be defeated. From former President Barack Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama to the master of ceremonies for the virtual production Julia Louis-Dreyfus, the need to prevent a second Trump term was the Democrats' theme, repetition, and rallying cry. NBSP in his acceptance speech Biden offered a standard list of Democratic priorities: protecting the health care system, repealing Trump's tax cuts, investing in renewable energy and creating jobs, and blamed Trump for the economic collapse from the coronavirus pandemic. NBSP Mr. Biden said that his character and experience would heal the country from the divisions of the last 4 years. The establishment choice NBSP Joe Biden has been in Washington for 47 years. He was first elected to the Senate in 1973. NBSP This is his third run for the presidency, and except for the candidacy of Bernie Sanders it would undoubtedly have ended after his 5th place finish in the New Hampshire primary in February. Mr. Sanders, the self-proclaimed socialist senator from Vermont, had the most delegates and the strongest momentum, and barring the all-out effort by the party organization in the South Carolina primary would have made it to the summer convention in a commanding position for the nomination. NBSP fearing a repeat of the 1972 McGovern landslide loss to Nixon, an election that also took place in an atmosphere of domestic political turmoil and violence, the party elders essentially awarded the nomination to Biden and convinced Sanders to withdraw and endorse him. Kamala Harris, the California senator chosen by Biden as his vice president, had a similarly unsuccessful run at the nomination. NBSP touted by many analysts early in the campaign as the most likely to succeed and granted substantial funding by her supporters. Ms. Harris flamed out spectacularly, withdrawing from the race 2 months before the first vote in the Iowa caucuses. NBSP within their own party's primary base, Biden and Harris elicited little genuine enthusiasm or devotion. NBSP presenting them to the far more diverse and questioning national electorate and hoping for the passion that Obama and Trump routinely generate and often wins elections is a wish of the first order. Biden in history and politics. For many of Bernie Sanders' passionate supporters, Trump hatred is secondary to the senator's economic program. NBSP Biden is the perfect representative of that DC establishment. NBSP his long history in the Capitol and 4 decades of pronouncements on a variety of controversial political topics, from long ago friendships with segregationist senators to his support of NBSP strict criminal laws under Clinton, are likely to dim the enthusiasm of the party's base and possibly impact the African American vote essential for Democratic national success. NBSP his and the Democrats' unwillingness to criticize the rioters in Portland, Seattle, New York, and other cities who have now taken to marching through suburban neighborhoods at night demanding the residents give up their homes in a guilt-laden payment for racism, is a perfect foil for the Trump campaign's insistence on law and supporting the police. Mr. Biden and his son Hunter's questionable financial activity in China and the Ukraine is another vulnerability. NBSP his involvement in the Obama administration's spy operations against the Trump campaign in 2016 being investigated by U.S. Attorney John Durham will be used by the Trump campaign as a blatant plank in their D.C. corruption scaffold. NBSP the Democratic base is static. Neither Biden nor Harris expands Democratic appeal beyond the party's existing constituents. NBSP Biden's shop-worn working-class image is overlaid by 5 decades in Washington. NBSP the working-class Pennsylvania world of his youth has long since been gutted by the economic policies of a generation of D.C. politicians of both parties. NBSP Harris's left-wing policy credentials, despite NBSP her penchant for long criminal sentences as California Attorney General, are exemplary. Her support for open immigration and the Green New Deal of Socialist Representative Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez are not going to win any converts outside of college towns and urban liberals who are already enlisted. Donald Trump won in 2016 because he brought just enough working-class voters to the Republican Party for the first time with his message of economic nationalism. NBSP, as surprising as that was to the national media, it was no unexpected gift to the Trump campaign but a deliberate strategy. NBSP it was an opening in the electorate that no other candidate and very, very few analysts had seen. NBSP is Trump hate enough. The Democrats are virulently anti-Trump, they have been for 5 years. NBSP this is nothing new, and except for their base, that message will provide no reason for anyone else to vote for Biden. NBSP the problem for the Democrats is that their disgust for Trump has, in many public instances, become indistinguishable from a far more radical hatred for the country itself. Burning the American flag, rioting and tearing down statues is very poor electioneering. Convincing the electorate that their candidate will provide a better future may be passe in this overly emotional year, but by eschewing substantive economic and political arguments for Trump is evil. The Democrats leave almost every issue that voters care about, employment, crime and political violence in the cities, defunding the police, the disavowal of American history and heroes as racists and many others, to the untender mercies of the Trump campaign. NBSP in 2016 Clinton lost because she could not conceive of losing. In thinking that their hatred of Trump is enough to ensure victory, the Democrats of 2020 may be making a nearly identical mistake. NBSP. Subscribe our channel to receive the news as soon as possible. Thank you for watching. If you want to read real-time news, text messages to MT5 Expert Advisors page at https://m.me/mt5.expert.advisors.